Here's one last story before we take a break. Loy, I believe the way his last name is pronounced is Mauch. It's M-A-U-C-H. He was brought to my attention by a number of people who live in Arkansas. He is a Republican representative in Arkansas. He has a lot of interesting opinions about slavery and a lot of other things that a lot of people may not know even exist at this point, but they do. And the reason we know about this is he writes in regularly to the local paper, the Democrat Gazette, over the years. He's written in many, many times. And there's been a compilation done of some of the things he's written. Here is, for example, something he said. He calls the Confederate flag a symbol of Jesus Christ. Now, that obviously makes us say, interesting. Well, what does that say about his views on slavery? Here's something he said on February 15th, 2003. He wrote into the Democrat Gazette and he said, "Nowhere in the Bible have I found a word of condemnation for the operation of slavery, Old or New Testament. If slavery was so bad, why didn't Jesus, Paul, or the prophets say something?" That's my question. We actually have the same question. Why is it okay to say that the Bible doesn't advocate any problem with slavery? He's bringing up a good point. I think we disagree on our opinion, don't we?
The Bible talks about treating your slaves really well, so that's tacitly saying that slavery is okay. No, this is an argument that was used for time immemorial.
It has been.
And these that's why they say, you know, when you vote for the rights of equal marriage or vote for the rights of civil rights.
Right.
If you were to go to the voters in certain states, in certain areas, to put slavery back on the ballot,
you would be able to do it.
Probably would have slavery in those states.
Now,
That's
for people
why
saying,
you need to decide this is a right, and that's why
you don't vote on rights.
Right.
Exactly. And for people saying, well, that was 2003. What has he said more recently? Just a couple years ago, he said, if slavery were so god awful, why didn't Jesus or Paul condemn it? Why was it in the Constitution? And why wasn't there a war before 1861? These people exist. I think it's good to be aware that this does exist. And this is part of why we can't, the idea of putting gay marriage to a vote, it either is objectively discrimination or it isn't, and the idea of putting it to a vote, I flatly disagree with, although we've seen progress when it has been put to a vote in this last election cycle.
True. This is one of the small rays of hope, but, you know, with Christmas dinner with my crazy uncle who didn't want to go see Lincoln because he can't believe that guy would let so many white Americans die for the slaves, even in the Northeast. It
exists everywhere, really. Yeah, for sure. Let's take a break. Coming up next, we're going to have Dennis Campbell's Top 10 International Stories as he sees it of 2012. And then we'll talk about new facial recognition software. There's a lot coming up, so stay tuned.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.